Everyone is you pushed out has become so controversial over the past few years, especially when it comes to the SP community. And this is what I really wanted to touch base on today in regards to the SP community when we use everyone is you pushed out. Somehow, so many of you guys out there have developed the belief. And I can understand why, because all of the videos out there that are basically portraying that your SP is just you pushed out. So if you want them to change, then you have to change your inner dialogue, or you have to change internally in some way because they're just you pushed out. And I totally get why so many of you guys think that, because obviously if you keep watching video after video, many people are basically regurgitating information they heard another YouTuber say instead of actually just going to the source and reading Neville, or whoever is reading Neville is taking Neville's teachings potentially out of context, which I think happens all the time in whatever book we read. Many people, you can give the same book to 1,000 people and you'll get different meanings or different versions of something. People will comprehend it differently. They'll comprehend it the way that they want to comprehend it, or they'll comprehend it on their particular level of consciousness for wherever they are at that moment in life. What I'm about to say, I know a lot of you guys are not gonna like, but to me, in my opinion, I believe it's true. Because working with myself and Tim, I want you guys to really understand, when you work with us or when you watch our videos, we do not gaslight you. I don't care, especially the SP community. I do not care what we're talking about. It could be SP related, it could be job related, business related. It doesn't matter. Tim and I, we do not gaslight you. We do not pride ourselves on gaslighting you just to get a dollar, just to get a buck. We want to help you guys understand and get real results for your SP situation. And what I'm seeing is a bunch of regurgitated information in the comment section of videos, as well as watching content creators regurgitate the same information about how your SP is pushed out. But to that point, I want you guys to think about how many people you know who are in relationships where their self concept is terrible. They have low self esteem. They have issues. However, their partner is totally healthy. There's nothing wrong with their partner. I want you guys to think about, why is that? If we are really taking everyone as you pushed out literally, then when somebody has a terrible self concept, when someone has low self esteem, when somebody has victim mentality and all of the above, all of this type of low vibration stuff, when they have that, there should be, if this law works 100% of the time, because everybody says, you see comments and videos and everybody says, oh, it's law, it's perfect, it works 100% of the time. So if it's law and it works 100% of the time, then how come there are people out here in the world, because people watching this video, you guys probably know people or have known someone in the past where their self concept is terrible. Their self esteem is extremely low. They're shy. They're this. They're that. But their partner, they did not attract a partner that was unhealthy. They attracted a partner that was extremely healthy. Now, if everyone is you pushed out is working the way some of these gurus on YouTube talk about, or the way some of these gurus in the comment section are talking about, if everyone is you pushed out is supposed to work that way, if you have a low self-esteem, if you have a low self-concept, if you have all of that type of stuff, then by definition you should be attracting a partner that is going to confirm all of that for you. But you see, that's not the case for so many people. And this is why I tell you guys religiously, just like Tim tells you guys religiously, to be careful about taking one size fits all advice, because that may be true for some people when it comes to everyone as you pushed out, but it's not true for everyone when it comes to everyone as you pushed out. Because I just gave you that example. And I know some of you guys right now are mulling it over in your head trying to figure out, oh yeah, I know such and such. They were such a shitty person, but they attracted somebody who still held them down. There's people that have been married for years that are in situations like this, where the partner has low self-esteem, the partner has low self-concept, but their partner is there kind of picking up the slack, and they know, and they're making it work. And their relationship may not be perfect, but relatively you could say that they're happy and they're getting along and they're making it work and they're trucking along. So I'm here to say today that it 100% can work. You can have low self-concept, you can have low self-esteem, etc., and you can still attract a partner who is healthy and who is going to love you through that regardless, and potentially help you through that. To all of you out there watching this video, I don't want you to think that just because you have a low self-concept or low self-esteem, that means in return you're going to attract an SP that's going to treat you that way, because that's not true. You can still 1000% attract a healthy partner even when you're in that low state, and you can keep that person as well. Now, obviously, as I always say, It depends on the person. It depends on the situation. The term is nuanced. These situations are always nuanced. Everyone as you pushed out, that term has been taken to tell people, oh, if all you do is change your inner state, then your SP is going to reflect that back to you. If you start telling yourself, I'm lovable, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, your SP is going to start showing you signs of that. While that is true, that can happen. That does not happen all the time. Again, it's nuanced. It depends on the person. But the thing that really bothers me about this conversation is how so many people think that they are the problem. So many people that are out there trying to manifest a specific person, you guys think you're the problem. You think, oh, my SP is showing up this way. That must mean I'm doing something wrong in my eternal state and I need to change it. And you start and you get gaslit by other people in the community and you start to feel even worse and you go down this rabbit hole of thinking, oh, I don't know how to manifest. I suck at manifesting because I've been doing techniques for a month, 2 months, whatever the time frame is, and my SP is still showing up a certain way, so I must be doing it wrong. I'm here to tell you that's not the case for many of you. Many of you out there have to come to realize and come to terms with the fact that you probably just manifested a shitty SP as a partner, period. So no matter how much you affirm, no matter how much you do X, Y, and Z, they're probably not going to change. This is a harsh reality that some of you have to look in the mirror and realize that no amount of affirming, no amount of this, no amount of that is going to make your person change. So you could go month after month, you could go a year, you could go 2 years affirming something. And guess what? Your person might not change. And guess what? That's not your fault. Stop letting people in the community make you believe that, oh, it's your fault that they're showing up that way. No, the gaslighting in this community is beyond sickening. Some of you have to just come to terms with this person is a piece of shit. I manifested them in my life. And no amount of affirming or no amount of visualization is going to make this person change. I need to just let this person go and heal and love them from a distance. And then if they come back naturally on their own, they'll come back on their own. This is something that I had to realize personally back when I went through a stint with an SP back in 2013. I used to think all of that stuff was my fault for whatever, a couple years, whatever it might have been. And then as I got better and I realized, no, wait a second. It wasn't me with the issue. It was her who had the issue, right? And so then I let that situation go. I worked on myself concept, worked on my self love, forgave the situation, blessed her wherever she was at, wished her well, kind of like Florence Scovel Shinn talks about in her book. I did all of that. And then that's when I got the text message all of those years later. And that's when I got the apology and all that type of stuff that I really wanted because I finally let go and I tested it like Neville said. This is what a lot of you guys got to realize. A lot of the situations that you're going through right now, it's not your fault. No matter how many techniques you do and it's not happening on your time frame, it's not your fault. Just like Neville talks about, it's going to happen when it happens. So don't allow this everyone as you pushed out stuff to kind of make you think that you can speed up this process and say, oh, I'm going to change my thoughts and feelings overnight so I can attract my SP back, because it's probably not going to happen that way. It's probably not going to happen that fast. I don't know how fast it's going to happen for you because everybody's different. But what I'm telling you is some of you guys like me in my situation have to understand that you attracted a bad person. And no matter how good of a person you try to be, no matter how much you try to change your inner state, that inner state is not going to make that person that you're in a relationship with necessarily change. Because like I've been saying, you have to realize that this person is just a person who is broken for whatever reason and needs to do a lot of work on themselves for whatever reason. And the crazy thing is when you really let go of that type of stuff in a situation, even when you are with an SP in those situations, what's going to end up happening and what ends up happening to a lot of other people is naturally you guys are going to break up somehow. Naturally, either she's going to be the one to break up. Most likely, it's probably going to be your partner to be the one that breaks up with you because they know and they see how bad they're treating you. So most likely, they're going to be the one that pushes you away, because this is exactly what happened in my situation. As I started to kind of get better and to let things go and to realize, yo, Marv, there's nothing you can do. You're blamed for everything. Everything's your fault. Blah, 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 blah. Once you realize that and you stop fighting it, it's like the universe just releases whatever energy was stuck, which allows the breakup to naturally happen in a sense. And then you guys will go separate ways. And then that process in between of whatever's happening, you have to fix what you have to fix. They have their realization of what went on and what they have to fix. And then that's what allows LOA, law of attraction, to work and kind of bring you guys back in a sense, because that time apart has you able to think, has them able to think, and then that's when the conversation can finally happen to say, hey, I was wrong. They contact you however many months or years later to let you know they're sorry or whatever the case might be. So again, don't look at everyone as you pushed out as this tactic to manipulate your SP, meaning, oh, I'm going to change myself to try to manipulate them to speed up the process. It's not going to work that way for most people. To me, what the real definition of everyone as you pushed out is, you see the world as you are. You don't see the world as the world truly is. You see the world based on whatever traumas, experiences, etc., good, bad, indifferent. You see the world based on all your experiences you've had since you were a kid. That's what everyone as you pushed out means to me. It doesn't mean the way that people in the SP community have taken it to say, oh, they're just reflecting your state back to you. Can it mean that? Absolutely, it can mean that. But to me, everyone as you pushed out, like I'm saying, is if you are a hateful, jealous, resentful person, every time you look at people, you're going to see jealousy. You're going to see resentment. You're going to see bitterness. You're going to see all of that stuff because those are the battles you are going through internally with yourself. That's what everyone as you pushed out means to me. If you are poor and you don't have money, when you look at people that have money, you're going to covet what they have. You're going to be jealous of what they have. They are you pushed out. So when somebody with money walks across you and you see them, you automatically don't like them because they have money. You see millionaires, you see billionaires, you say, why do you guys have all that money? You don't need all of that money. So because of the internal battle you have with money, now when a billionaire or a millionaire shows up, you see that you're mad, they get you angry. You might do something to that billionaire. You might do something to that millionaire, whatever the case might be. Or not even a billionaire or millionaire, just people you know in your everyday life. Somebody on the street you see you think's pretty successful, you might try to rob them or whatever the case might be. Or even better, since we're talking about SPs, for instance, whatever battle you have internally going on with your SP, if you then see your SP with somebody new, you get that feeling of jealousy, resentment, bitterness, whatever the case might be, because of the battle you have going on with yourself. When you see that SP, that brings up that everyone is you pushed out feeling that you have in you until you change that. That's the good thing about it, is you can change that everyone is you pushed out feeling. Everything on earth, it's us on earth who get to decide what's good, what's bad. What you think is good, the next person might not think is good. What you think is considered bad, the next person might not think is bad. Think about this. Think about people over in terrorist countries. They take pride in killing. They take pride in stealing, kidnapping, just raising hell. They take pride in that type of shit. They think that shit is good. They think they're going to be in paradise with Allah when they kill. They think they're doing good. Now, if you ask people over here or in other countries what they're doing, of course, they're going to tell you it's evil. So good and evil is based on whoever you're talking to. Just like you might think having $1 billion is bad. Other people like me, I don't care. I'll take $1 billion. Give me $1 billion today. Give me $500 million today. I don't think money is evil like some people think. I don't think capitalism is evil the way some people think. I don't have that belief about money. I don't have that belief about power. I don't have that belief about any of that type of stuff. Because once you start to understand the world, start to understand energy, and you really start to dive into this stuff, you realize that stuff just is. You realize stuff just exists. And that you, the person, get to label something as good or bad. You, the person, get to decide, am I going to get emotionally involved in this shit that I can control or that I can't control? You get to decide that. And what people are doing is unconsciously, they are deciding to participate in things for the worse. Just like they are using the everyone is you pushed out, they're deciding to use that unconsciously for the worse. They're deciding to see the worst in every situation because they haven't done the necessary work internally to say, you know what, I see my SP with somebody brand new, but it doesn't bother me. I wish them well. Yeah, it's not the ideal situation, but you know what? I wish them well. I bless them. I hope they're successful and happy. And I'm going to take this time to heal and move on. That's the type of mentality you should have. Because once you have that mentality, that's how you know you've done the work and you're getting better and better every day in every way, as Emil Quay would say. But that is the real everyone is you pushed out, in my opinion. Whatever your internal state is, that's how you're going to see things. If you have a poverty mentality, when you go to the supermarket, you're going to consider everything in the supermarket expensive. Your consciousness is telling you everything in this supermarket is expensive. These eggs are expensive. This milk is expensive. This bread is expensive. These chips are expensive. Everything is expensive when you have a poverty mentality because that is your internal state. You view the world. When you go to rent houses or when you go to buy a house, your consciousness is going to be focused on all of the fees. It's going to be focused on the homeowners association. It's going to be focused on the transfer tax. It's going to be focused on the property taxes. You're going to be constantly focused on your awareness. Is going to be constantly focused on this is expensive. Everything is expensive. And everything very well might be expensive. But again, it's up to you. You get to decide what label you're going to give something. It's your consciousness, it's your awareness, which is why you hear all of these teachers, whether it's Neville Abdullah, whoever, Jesus Christ, they're constantly telling you rise above that. Now, again, on the flip side, if your internal state is that of abundance, when you walk in the grocery store, nothing is going to be expensive to you. That's how you're going to view everything in the grocery store. These eggs, I'm just throwing it in the basket. These chips, I'm just throwing it in the basket. These bread, these cookies, I'm just throwing it in the basket. Because you don't view everything as expensive. You view everything as I can afford it. You have an abundance mentality because that's you pushed out into the world. You go to buy a car, you go to buy a house, you're looking at it and you're saying to yourself, nah, this isn't expensive. You're looking at the property taxes, you're looking at the transfer tax, you're looking at the homeowners association fee. You're like, I'm not worried about this type of stuff. Yeah, I'll just pay it because this isn't expensive to me. Because your awareness is risen, your consciousness is risen. You're looking at life through the lens of abundance instead of lack, which most people look through the life through the lens of lack because that's what's going on inside of them. Because again, everyone is you pushed out. So with these examples, I hope that you really see what everyone is you pushed out really means. It's not this watered down stuff that people in the LOA community have taken it and turned it into this tool of, oh, all you have to do is just change your inner state. And all you have to do is affirm what you want your SP to say to you, and then they'll eventually say it to you. That works sometimes. Sometimes that don't work, no matter how much you do it. And I know because I've talked to people, I've talked to people, I've worked with people who constantly have had that experience of repeating affirmations, and their SP might repeat some of the affirmations back, but it never stays consistent. This isn't just, oh, I'm going to affirm and then everything's going to be good. No, everyone is you pushed out don't work like that. Everyone is you pushed out. You have to really fundamentally focus on your inner being, your level of consciousness, and rise above how you see the world, rise above how you see money, especially since we talk about SP, rise above how you see relationships. When you see couples that have what you want, when you see couples that have kids, do you get jealous? If you do, that's because that's you pushed out. That's because your internal state is a state of jealousy because you want that and you don't have that. When you see couples holding hands, when you see couples posting photos on Facebook, when you see couples, oh, they just got engaged, such and such just got engaged, oh, my friends just got engaged, I'm still single. Again, everyone is you pushed out. That's how you're viewing the world. This is what everyone is you pushed out really means. Now, like I said earlier, you could 100% have a state of lack or whatever the case might be, and then you can attract that into your life. That can 100% be true for you. You could have a low self-esteem, low poverty, whatever mentality, and attract a partner that matches that vibration, that treats you like shit, that lies, steals, does all of the above because they're mirroring your self-concept. That can 100% happen. But like I said to start the video, on the flip side, there are also plenty of people out there who have a low self-esteem and a low self-concept. And for whatever reason, they are still able to attract a healthy partner. And that relationship is still able to coexist for quite some time. And they're still able to make it work. However, they're able to make it work. So again, you have to look at your situation. You have to adjust accordingly and figure out how you yourself are really viewing the world and how you've been looking at everyone as you pushed out. And have you been looking at everyone as you pushed out from a worldly perspective, like how it's turned into, or have you really been looking at everyone as you pushed out from an energetic perspective? And you know what's crazy that I realized, especially when it comes to SP, when you start to do the work internally and you really start to understand what everyone is you pushed out means, a lot of you out there, you're in relationships or you're dealing with SPs or whatever the case might be. And you don't even realize that because of your internal state, you are pushing out your internal state onto your specific person. Meaning your specific person might be doing something, but because your internal state is so broken, you are making a much bigger deal out of what your SP is doing than it needs to be. This is what happens when you don't really deal with the inner workings of yourself and your consciousness. When you're dealing with a person in a relationship, you can find pretty much anything they do as annoying. You start to nitpick at this. You start to, oh, you did this in the bathroom. Oh, you left the light on. Oh, you never closed the garage door. Oh, you never do the dishes. You start to nitpick at your SP because you're taking your internal issues again and you're pushing them out. Everyone is you pushed out. You're pushing them out onto your partner. And a lot of you guys don't realize when you're in relationships, that's not fair to your partner. That's not fair to your SP. You're getting mad at them for this little stuff that is not even a big deal. You're making, as they say, a mountain out of a molehill. So many people do this in relationships, and they break up in relationships over the stupidest stuff. The stuff that I've heard throughout the years of why people are breaking up or whatever the case might be, it's ridiculous to me. But again, when you don't address your internal state, these little issues that you see from your partner become bigger issues because you don't realize, oh shoot, I'm the one with the problem. I need to change the way that I view this. I need to stop looking at this and getting angry. I get to assign meaning to this. I get to decide if when I see this garage door open, I get to decide if I'm going to be mad or not. I get to decide how angry I'm going to get if I see the dishes aren't done. I get to decide that. Why am I giving them power and getting angry at that? I have to take my power back. But again, this only comes when self-reflection is the most important part. What will probably end up happening is a lot of you guys will start to see and realize how futile a lot of the arguments were that you got into when you were with your old SP or maybe your current SP or whatever the case might be. You'll start to realize, man, I was a shitty person for no reason. I was starting problems that didn't even need to be problems, all because of my internal state and what was going on inside of me. And I had pushed that on you. I pushed my insecurities out on you, or I had pushed my stuff out on you. So then in return, you'll see all of that stuff stops to bother you. You realize the arguments go down. Everything is smooth. And again, I'm speaking from firsthand knowledge because I had my old SP reach out to me and tell me all of that type of stuff back when she finally texted me and she apologized and all that type of stuff. She specifically said she had issues that she hadn't dealt with and that it was all her fault and that she was pushing that again out onto me because of all of her stuff that she hadn't dealt with. Everybody comes to their realization at their perfect appointed time frame. Doesn't matter how much affirming you do, how much work you put in. Like Neville said, a horse takes a year, a human takes 9 months, a hen's egg or whatever it takes, however many days. Every manifestation has its appointed time. The one thing you just have to do and focus on is changing your internal state and really understanding and learning the true meaning and definition of what everyone as you pushed out looks like.